premieres with HSBC, investing in great British drama.
Two teams, one aim, European glory.
On Tuesday, we bring you extensive highlights featuring Feyenoord against Chelsea.
Can Desai marshal the Blues' defence against the Dutch onslaught? Then on Wednesday,
we're live as Manchester United take on Fiorentina.
Andy Cole leads an attack desperate to put an end to the Italian Renaissance. So what do you make of all this football on ITV?
I would say perfection.
The UEFA League highlights Tuesday at 10 and live Wednesday at 7:30.
I'm afraid your house is on fire.
Personal tragedy engulfs Jack Frost.
So much damage. Let's put it this way, it's cured the rising damp.
But injustice doesn't take time off.
You ever handled a kidnap?
What do you want?
You let her die, and I'll have you.
Have you got the money?
I know it's McCarty. I'm gonna nail him.
I don't think I'm ever going to see her again.
Paying the price, A Touch of Frost, Thursday at 8 on ITV.
Look, if you come down, I'll let you sleep on the new duvet. I'll buy you a fish shop. Or how about your very own Frisky's play tent?
Look out for special promotional packs of Frisky's Go Cat to get your cat this fantastic play tent. Frisky's Go Cat, for cats with an appetite for life.
Did you get them, Mr. B?
So I did, Mr. A, but it wasn't easy. That's his new onboard bar. Quite impressive, I'm afraid. So you can sit there, get a drink, chill out. They've made more space, more than double the number of seats. I mean, how could he afford to do this?
Obviously, they're nuts.
Right. There's cashew nuts, pistachio nuts, and oh yeah, bar snacks. Olives, green and black. Those little pretzel-y things.
Have your savings grown by over 40% since October 1998? No? And perhaps you should give B2 a call.
Call B2 on 0800 626262 for an ISA information pack or visit b2.com.
No service charge. No voucher expiry. No peak hours. Just simple, straightforward value. Welcome to Simplicity, our new standard tariff. The simple pay-as-you-go from 1 to 1.
For tickets to the Dome, call 0870 606 2000 or visit your National Lottery retailer. One amazing day, 1 year only.
Protect your future with the pension and investment strength of Norwich Union.
Can you believe this hair color is 33 days old? No kidding.
It's New Recital from L'Oreal.
The color I love just got better.
New Recital has continual color and a conditioning system.
L'Oreal's first fade-resistant color that stays continually true.
And now with regular conditioning treatments.
Right in the box.
For soft, shiny, brilliant color. From the day you color to the day you color. Week after week.
And counting.
New Recital from L'Oreal. Worldwide #1 for hair color.
Because I'm worth it.
At Comet, our prices are consistently lower on average than all these stores. And we check their prices daily to make sure they stay lower. That's Comet Sense.
Thick, succulent cod fillet in breadcrumbs. New Simply Fish from Bird's Eye for those who really love fish.
When the big stars come to town, there's only one man they'll want to see.
Me.
The new Brian Conley Show, Saturday, 8:55 on ITV.
Now on Anglia, Brian stars with Noddy Holder in the last in the series of The Grimleys.
Now at Comet, you can get a free digital dish and box from Sky, giving you the opportunity to subscribe to
Sky One, 3 news channels,
12 documentary channels,
7 sports channels, 8 music channels,
12 Sky movie screens,
8 kids channels,
banking and shopping from home, and email through your TV.
Subscribe now and Comet will give you £100 towards any new TV costing £399 or more. Our best Sky offer ever.
That's common sense.
Sophie, who do you like best, Daddy or Chips? Daddy or Chips? Daddy or Chips? Thanks, Mum. Thanks, Mum. Daddy Chips.
Oh, girls. McCain chips, Britain's most popular choice.
Chips.
McCain, you just can't help yourself.
Hi, do you always use personal tablets?
No, first time. Didn't buy the big pack. Too much to splash out on in one hit. But now there's a smaller pack. It's cheaper. And I get less black marks.
On your clothes?
On my bank manager.
Persil tablets, 18 for just £2.25.
Cutting-edge design that you can see, advanced technology that you can't. Forward demands a closer look.
What's that, Dad?
Mutual? Well, Standard Life's mutual.
Yeah, but what's it mean?
Well, it just means that Standard Life puts its customers first, because it isn't owned by any shareholders.
So who owns them then?
I suppose we do, in a way.
So I'm the boss's son?
Standard Life, for pensions, investments and banking.
Introducing Wella's revolutionary on-off hair colouring system. When you feel like you're ready for a change, it gives you the confidence to choose the deep colour you want. Then if you want, you can just go back. The Wella on-off hair colouring system. On for long-lasting colour, off to go back with a gentle vitamin C enriched formula.
Wella, beautiful hair needs an expert.
It's a girl, Mrs. Thompson.
Oh, thank you, Doctor.
How refreshing. How Heineken.
To stay beautiful, you have to care about your looks. Watch what you eat. Keep in great shape. And of course, choose the safest car in its class according to Europe's latest independent tests. The Renault Megane. Stay beautiful.
Hello! We Swedes love nothing more than the crayfish party. And to catch the biggest crayfish, you need a really juicy bait. That's a real man's job, which leaves us to enjoy the vodka. Björn! Let the bait wiggle and be quick. And then, trips.
I've been thinking about pension companies recently, which is something I just have to put up with. Some of them pay part of their profits to shareholders, which is something I don't have to put up with.
With ABS, 4 front airbags and 0% finance available on all new Renault Megans, it doesn't take much to stay beautiful.
You're a policewoman. You find your sister murdered. How would you catch the killer? Would you change your life? Or would you change his?
I can make men love me, love me, love me, me.
Sometimes you can't help but get so involved. You can't just switch off what you make me feel.
I want my life back.
Zara Turner in the ITV drama premiere. The Blind Date begins Monday at 9.
You're watching Anglia.
There's anger tonight that the 2 boys who killed the toddler James Bulger could be released in 3 years' time. The Home Secretary, Jack Straw, is expected to announce this week that they should serve a minimum of 10 years rather than 15. Tonight, James's mother said she was disgusted. Here's Harry Smith.
It was one of the most horrific crimes the country has seen. A toddler abducted from a shopping centre by 2 10-year-olds, dragged to a railway line and battered to death. Given life sentences, Robert Thompson, here in a school video, and John Venables, here on the right, were told they would have to serve at least 10 years. Home Secretary Michael Howard increased that to 15, but the European Court later ruled that judges, not politicians, had the final say on sentences. The decision to accept that ruling today outraged James Bulger's family.
I'm sick of all this attention being devoted to James's killers. A 10-year minimum means they are getting something like 6 months in jail for murder. The rest of the time, they have only been in children's homes.
The opposition say Mr. Straw must now make it clear this is only a minimum.
They don't have to come out in 10 years. It simply means that 10 years will become a minimum instead of 15 years. They still have to satisfy certain conditions to be left out after that.
I understand that no firm date has been set aside for Mr. Straw's announcement, although it could come as early as tomorrow. In his statement, he's expected to confirm that he accepts in full the European Court ruling, which will mean that he as a politician will play no part in deciding when the boys are released. That will be left to the parole board or the courts. Harry Smith, ITN, at the Home Office.
The Education Secretary, David Blunkett, is tonight denying he's made a U-turn in his policy on grammar schools. 5 years ago, Mr. Blunkett said there'd be no selection under Labour. Now he says he's still opposed to it, but local parents should decide. Here's Adrian Britton.
The Education Secretary was hoping the week would start with widespread approval for his plans to extend secondary school hours till 5 o'clock. Instead, his proposals have been overshadowed by the contentious issue of grammar schools. At the party conference in 1995, David Blunkett, then Shadow Education Secretary, made a commitment at the heart of Labour's manifesto on schools.
Watch my lips. No selection, either by examination or by interview under a Labour government.
But in today's Sunday Telegraph, Mr. Blunkett is quoted as describing that speech as a joke and that Labour's historic campaign against grammar schools was over. The party's former deputy leader, Lord Hattersley, is incensed.
We're now told first that it was a joke, then that it was a mistake. This raises very important questions about political integrity.
But tonight, David Blunkett says he remains opposed to the 11+ and had simply described his conference speech as a parody of the famous Read My Lips speech from the former US President George Bush. He told me, however, that at that conference he had intended to say no more selection, though had clarified this at later interviews. Last week, parents at Ripon in Yorkshire voted to keep their grammar school. The Tories say Mr. Blunkett has done a U-turn and should scrap future ballots. Adrian Britton, ITN.
Pope John Paul II made an unprecedented plea for forgiveness for the past sins of the Catholic Church today. He held a special mass at St. Peter's in Rome, together with several leading cardinals and bishops. They prayed that the Church's past treatment of Jews, other ethnic groups and women be pardoned. The Spanish Prime Minister José María Aznar has won a landslide victory in the country's general election. His centre-right Popular Party won 45% of the votes, enough for an outright majority over the opposition socialists. His election success has been put down to the strength of Spain's economy and low unemployment. Relief workers say they're still struggling tonight to get enough aid to the desperate people of flood-hit Mozambique. As the waters recede, survivors are returning to their homes, but they now face severe food shortages and a growing risk of disease. Juliet Bremner reports from one stricken area.
Britain is just one member of a multinational force bringing relief to flood victims. But even this huge combined effort is failing to meet the demand. As we flew into Chilambani, it was clear that little or no help had yet reached this small town. Very few belongings have survived, but everything is washed in the vain hope it might work again. The receding waters also revealed the extent of their suffering. 27 bodies have been recovered in recent days. Chilambani is beginning to think it's been abandoned.
In the last couple of days, we've managed to put food into the key areas where there's large camps and large populations, and we're only now just beginning to fan out into some of the more remote areas.
Makeshift homes are appearing on rooftops, but these can be no more than a temporary refuge. It's 3 days since the first food got here, but the people of Chilambani need far more than food. Their town has been all but destroyed, and they desperately need help to rebuild it. Survival is everyone's priority, but this town underlines how much more must eventually be done. Juliet Bremner, ITN, Chilambani.
Motor racing, Michael Schumacher won the opening Grand Prix of the season in Melbourne. His Ferrari teammate Rubens Barrichello took second place. The young Briton Jenson Button made an impressive debut, but his car let him down. Matthew Rumsey saw the race.
Albert Park, world champion Mika Hakkinen in pole position, alongside him McLaren teammate David Coulthard. The Ferraris of Michael Schumacher and Rubens Barrichello started in third and fourth. Hakkinen held pole position from the off, but it was to all go horribly wrong for both McLarens. Lap 11 and an overheated engine, David Coulthard was out. 7 laps later and Hakkinen followed suit. The opening race of the season would not be won by a McLaren. Eddie Irvine and Johnny Herbert also failed to finish in the Jaguars, as did 20-year-old Jenson Button. But Formula One's 5th youngest driver of all time came through his debut with flying colours. Only the car wasn't up to the job. Reliability on the day came from Ferrari. Michael Schumacher took the checkered flag, followed by his teammate Rubens Barrichello.
Unfortunately, the 2 guys in front of me broke down. I would have wished to have a race until the end to prove really how good we are, but I think we will have plenty of opportunities to do this year.
The opening Grand Prix of the new millennium went to Ferrari. It was their first 1-2 in a season's opening race for 47 years. Matthew Rumsey, ITN Sport.
Football, Leeds are still hot on the heels of Premiership leaders Manchester United tonight after a 2-1 win at Bradford. But Arsenal's poor away form continued with a 2-1 defeat at Middlesbrough. Jonathan Swain rounds up the action.
Only 8 miles separate these clubs, but their football is a world apart. Leeds are aiming for the Premiership title, Bradford's aim to avoid relegation. Leeds soon went ahead after Michael Bridges connected with this free kick. The ball hit his thigh. It's unlikely the club's top goal scorer will claim this one as his best. In the second half, Michael Bridges scored his second for Leeds. But the home crowds did have something to celebrate. Peter Beagrie scored this spectacular goal, which he seemed more than pleased with. At the Riverside Stadium, Middlesbrough took the lead against Arsenal after Paul Ince's header. Hamilton Ricard made it 2-0. But Arsenal pulled one back after this well-placed finish from Dennis Bergkamp. But disappointment for the Arsenal manager, his hopes of winning the title are now over. Jonathan Swain, ITN Sport.
So the top of the Premiership now looks like this. Manchester United are still the leaders, but Leeds have narrowed the gap to 4 points. Arsenal's defeat means they stay 5th. The draw was made tonight for the semi-finals of the Scottish Tennants Cup. Hibernian take on Aberdeen, and Ayr United will play Rangers, who beat Hearts in the 5th round this evening. A lone run from Arthur Newman made it 2-0 for Rangers within 20 minutes. Hearts did get one back, but 2 second-half Rangers goals in 10 minutes finished them off. The final score, 4-1. And that's the way it looks tonight. From all of us here on the ITV Weekend News team, good night.
Good evening. Well, for much of Britain, the weekend has been dry, sunny and very mild, no less than we deserve, of course, and it almost makes going back to work tomorrow bearable, just about at least. You might as well go back to work because the weather's getting more unsettled. There's the chart for tomorrow. High pressure still close by, but these weather fronts edging in from northwest to southeast. There will be more cloud around tomorrow and outbreaks of rain too, especially up in the north and west. And there's tonight's picture. The north and west has the thickest clouds, some outbreaks of rain and drizzle, odd spots of drizzle coming a little further south, but the far southeast dry and clear for long enough for temperatures to get down to just 2 or 3, so there may be a touch of ground frost in the southeast. And then tomorrow morning, a generally cloudy start to the day. Again, odd spots of rain and drizzle possible almost anywhere, but 2 things happen during the day. The rain in the northwest will get heavier through the afternoon, so a wet end of the day there, but the south and east will get brighter as the day wears on, and again, like today, you'll end up with some sunny spells. And the temperatures are pretty good too. 14 or 15 is achievable in the southeast. Further north, even with the cloud and outbreaks of rain, somewhere between 9 and 12. Here's a summary.
Power Gen. Power, whatever the weather.
Anglia and Sun Life, helping you plan for tomorrow.
And the Anglia weather tonight is dry but becoming cloudy, some mist patches around. Tomorrow starts cloudy, the cloud breaking in central and southern parts later to give sunny spells at times, up to 15 Celsius, 59 Fahrenheit in the sunnier spots. And the outlook for Tuesday, a cloudy start but sunny breaks later.
Do you believe in love at first sight?
But you have no idea what it's like to be alone.
Have you ever met that special person?
Think you should know your family thinks we're engaged.
Or fallen in love?
Well, since they met you, they figure they have Peter back.
With someone?
What if he doesn't come out of his coma?
Well, then who's to know?
You've never even spoken to.
Lucy, you're born into a family. You do not join them like you do the Marines.
Sandra Bullock stars in While You Were Sleeping, Saturday at 9:55 on ITV.
Next on Anglia, the South Bank Show presents a profile of Emir Kusturica.
Wouldn't it be great to have access to selected information on the internet, wherever you are? Soon, you'll be able to.
People often ask me how I keep my hair so thick and curly.
It's a perm.
Simple. I use Abbey National Savings Advisors. They're scientifically formulated to prevent hair loss. They explain all my choices in straightforward, plain English, so I don't end up pulling my hair out. Saving with Abbey National keeps my hair a part of me.
Perm, not a perm.
Abbey National, because life's complicated enough.
Forced to reconcile the good in which he believes.
We stand or fall together.
Against the violent reality of war.
Be sure you bury this man. Be the good shepherd, Father. Keep them on the path.
And if that path leads to the slaughter.
Stunning new drama from ITV. John Thor is Monsignor Renard.
Whose name do you commit such sacrilege?
Coming soon.
You can see the highlights of today's Australian Grand Prix in an hour's time.